Hello students, welcome back. Now we are in the third part of chapter 12, that is life and culture of the Nagas. Here in this part, I'm going to explain to you about the festivals of the different tribes of Nagas. After we are done with the festivals, we are going to go through the new words. As you can see in page number 88, there are some new words that you have come across in this lesson. And later on, together, we are going to do some exercises. In the previous classes, we haven't done these exercises, but in this class, I'm going to teach you on how to find these exercises. Then later on, we will do a revision by going through the question and answers. And as I've mentioned, I'm going to give you a project work, which will be quite interesting, and this will give you a lot of knowledge about the history of Nagas. So let me begin with the festivals. So in Nagaland, we have 16 tribes, and all these different tribes have different festivals. Some of the tribes have more than one or two festivals, and these festivals comes one after the other. Now, these festivals have different meanings. Some festivals are celebrated in order to mark the end of the harvest system. Harvest system is when they grow the paddies and the crops in the field, and when they're fully grown and ready to be taken out. So that is harvest time, right? So some of these festivals are celebrated in order to mark the end of the harvest time, so that together the whole village gather and they used to share whatever they have harvested, and they used to make a ceremony out of it. And some of these festivals are celebrated in order to start this harvest festival. So before they begin this harvest season, they celebrate these festivals in order to mark the beginning of this harvest period. And some of these festivals are also celebrated to mark the victory. Whenever they go for any battle, if they win the battle, they used to have a celebration. So some of these festivals also have a story about how they won the battle. And during these festivals, what they do, all the men, the women, whether it's young or old, they all come out from their homes wearing their traditional attires, wearing their traditional dresses, from headgear till the shield to spears to all the ornaments, whatever I've explained to you in the previous class about the dress of the Naga people. They wear all these traditional dresses, and they come out from their homes and they celebrate these festivals. So during this festival, there are also certain dresses which are worn only by the kings and the queens, and there are certain dresses which are worn by the normal people. So likewise, they all come together and they share their joy, they share all their expression through these festivals. So some of the festivals are Muatsu, which are celebrated by the Ao Nagas. It is also known as the sowing festival, where this festival is celebrated when they sow these crops and all these paddies in the field in order to mark the beginning, in order to mark the harvest season. They used to celebrate this festival. Also, we have Tuluni, which is celebrated by the Sema Nagas, and similarly they're also related to the harvest. Whereas the Lothas, they celebrate this Toku Imong, where after the harvest is done, when they are ready to take out the harvest, all the family members of these Lotha Nagas, they used to go for the harvest, and then after they take out all the harvest, they used to cook it, they used to share it with your neighbors, and then sometimes they all gather together and eat whatever they have harvested from their own fields and paddies. So that is different meanings of the festivals. So sometimes whenever the villagers get the information that they are going to have their festivals, they all come out from their homes and they go out, do some works like cleaning the villages. They clean the footpaths, they also clean the wells and ponds, so that they are, so that it marks that they are going to do something new, or they are going to start something new in their lives. So they do all the cleaning things just before the festivals, and once they are all ready with these things, they get ready for their festivals, and that is, they wear their clothes perfectly. Some of them, there will be group of people who used to practice the folk dances. Some of them prepare themselves for the folk songs, and for in that occasion, on that particular day, they used to come out and do their presentations. So some of the festivals, it lasts for 9 days, while some of the festivals, it lasts for the whole month. So it depends. So depending on the different tribes, depending on the different festivals, even the festivals are celebrated in different days and weeks. It also lasts up to 1 month. So during these festivals, what they do is, they not only perform the songs and dances, but they also perform some dramas where they bring out the old stories and show it to the people, and together they enjoy and learn from their, especially the young ones who attend these festivals. They learn a lot of things from these festivals by watching those dramas. Then there are also a group of people who used to perform some activities where they used to do some competition. So by taking part in these competitions, even the youth or the older ones, older members in the family, they also enjoy a lot in these festivals. So in Nagaland, we have two important festivals. One is the Christmas, and the other one is the Hornbill Festival. So why we celebrate Christmas is because I've mentioned to you in the religion that the Nagas have accepted Jesus Christ, right? So we all know that on 24th and 25th of December, we celebrate the Christmas Eve, we celebrate the Christmas Day. So this day is celebrated with great joy, with a lot of sharing, and then people also do a lot of new things. They decorate their homes, they used to buy new things, and then they used to have a great and a grand ceremony, whether it is at home or whether it's in the church. There used to be a lot of feast, and a lot of sharing and caring is done on that day. And on the Hornbill Festival, which doesn't have a long history, however, it is celebrated from the 1st of December to the 10th of December. Earlier it was for 7 days, but now it has been extended to 10 days. So why this is celebrated on December is because on 1st of December 1963, Nagaland has attained its statehood. So in order to mark that special day, this Hornbill Festival is celebrated on the first week of December. And what they do in this Hornbill Festival is that all the cultural troops from different villages, they used to come and they used to prepare the folk dances and folk songs. They also come up with their traditional games and activities, and like I mentioned, they also perform their dramas, their history, where they used to tell us stories about their history, ancestors, through these dramas. So nowadays, more people are coming to watch these folk dances and songs, and every year thousands of tourists are coming from different states, from different countries, and this Hornbill Festival has marked as a great success, because on this day so many cultural dances and so many cultural customs and traditions are observed, and it gives a real beauty of the whole Naga culture. So many people love to visit it. There are people who plan much ahead of time in order to come and visit these festivals. So we have this Christmas and the Hornbill Festival, which is marked as the two great festivals of Nagaland. Though we have more festivals, and all these festivals are related to harvest, all these festivals are related to agriculture. And I also told you that the Nagas have a generation where they have started agriculture as the main occupation. However, because of the phase of time, with the changes of lifestyle and with the coming of new modern society, people have changed their lifestyle and they have opted for the government jobs. However, in most of the villages, still agriculture is the main occupation. So even the festivals is also related to agriculture. Okay, so as I mentioned, the Christmas is celebrated, and then we have this Hornbill Festival, which also promote the tourism in Nagaland. So many people have also started doing business through these festivals because it is promoting the rich cultural heritage of Nagaland. That is why this Hornbill Festival is known as the Festival of Festivals, where all these festivals of Nagaland come together as one on that particular day. Whereas on other days, whether it's the festival of a poem, whether it's a festival of Rengma, they used to celebrate on different occasions, on different month of the year. However, on that special day, that is on the Hornbill Festival, all the festivals are celebrated on one single week, and that is why it is known as the Festival of the Festivals. Alright, so now let's come to the new words. For that new words, I want you to turn to page number 88. So the first word is ivory. Now this ivory is used as an ornament in Naga attire. Okay, so this ivory is the tusk of the elephant. So it is the teeth of and the white teeth of an elephant, which is used to make the ornaments of the Nagas. So even now also, if you go and look out for the ornaments of the Nagas, you will see those ivory, and it is popularly used for most of the ornaments of Naga attire. Okay, the next one is the tattoo. So especially in the villages, the older men and women, they have tattoos on their body, whether it's on the arms, on their faces, or on their feet. Nowadays, we don't see this tattoo anymore, but those days, tattoos were also considered as a mark, as a beauty, where some of the women put the tattoos on their faces, while some of the men have tattoos on their arms, on their bodies. So they also, the warriors have different tattoos, whereas the kings have different tattoos. So tattoos were so important that those days. Okay, so tattoos are the marks, those are the prints and patterns which are designed on the faces, on the body. Okay. The next one is ferments. Ferment means a thing made to change its color, shape, and taste. We mostly ferment the soya bean, and it is popularly done by the Sema Nagas. Now next is the hornbill. Hornbill is a bird, and it has a feather of white and black color. So this hornbill bird is so popular because most of the Naga headgears, most of the Naga dresses, ornaments, are used. This hornbill feather is used to make the ornaments, and the spears and the designs, even the designs on the huts are also printed with this hornbill, the design and the feather of this hornbill. So it is a bird. Okay. Next is the dormitory. Dormitory is a hall. It's a large bedroom where so many people can gather and stay there at one point of time. So morungs are usually the dormitories, and I have also explained to you about what is a morung, where the young women live, where the young boys live. They get to know so many things. They get to know the skills. They get to learn about the stages of womanhood. So through this morung, so they get all these informations and knowledge from the morung. And the last one is skillful. Skillful means ability to do something well. So as a boy, as a young boy, and as a young girl, it's not easy for them to learn everything at one time. So once they go in and spend some time in morung, they learn all these skillful things. So skill of making baskets, or whether it's skill of making hand-woven cloth. So all these skills are taught in the morung, and skills means something that is to do, that is ability to do something well, to do much better. Okay. So next is the exercises. I want you to turn to page number 89. So the first one is you have to choose the right answer, right? So you have 4 options, and the first question is Nagaland is situated in, and there are 4 options. So the right answer is northeastern region of India. So when you look at the map, you go towards the northeastern part, you will see those areas which are covered by Assam, areas covered by Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, areas covered by Meghalaya, right? So right in the middle of all these areas, we have Nagaland, and Nagaland is the 16th state of Indian Union, and it is in the middle of all these states, okay? So Nagaland is located towards the northeastern region of India. The second one is the staple food of Naga is rice, okay? The correct answer is rice. We also have meat, we have vegetables. However, the most common and the most staple food, the commonly eaten food is rice. So that is the staple food of Nagas. Then third one is the morung is a dormitory for, yes, it is the morung is a dormitory for the young boys and girls, okay? And the fourth one is today the majority of the Nagas are Christians, right? Earlier we were nature worshippers, right? In the fourth option we have nature worshippers, so that was earlier, but after the coming of the Christian missionaries, we have converted ourselves into Christians. So now the present generation, the religion is Christian. And the fifth is this festival is common for all Nagas. So we have festivals like Tuluni, Sekrini, Monyu, and Hornbill. So these are separate festivals. However, the Hornbill festival is a festival of festivals where all festivals are celebrated in a week, right? Now, in the second one, true or false, some Nagas also live in the western frontier region of Myanmar. This part I might have not explained to you. Let me tell you, most of the Nagas live in Nagaland. However, some of the Nagas also live in the parts of Assam, in the parts of Manipur. Some of the Nagas also live in parts of Arunachal Pradesh, and some in the border of Myanmar, okay? So the answer is true. Some of the Nagas also live in regions of Myanmar. The second one is festivals are celebrated only after the harvest. The answer is no, because I told you some of the harvests are done before, some of the festivals are celebrated before the harvest, some are celebrated after the harvest, and some during the harvest. And also some of the festivals are related to war, the victories, right? So it is false. Then the third one is spinning and weaving are important occupations of women. That's correct. Most of the women do not involve in agriculture, but half of them, some of them also involved in weaving and spinning, okay? Then the fourth one is all the tribes have same style and pattern of dancing. That's incorrect, so it is false, because every different tribes have different dances and folk songs, so it is totally different from one another, so the answer will be false. Then the fifth one, log drums were used for inter-village communication. If you remember, I told you that the log drums are used to pass information, and it is used for alarming the village, right? So the answer is true. So let's go to the project questions and answers, okay? So in these questions and answers, most of the answers you will find once you go through the textbook. Like for example, where the Nagas live towards the northeastern area, right? So it is very much related to the exercises, okay? If you go through the exercises, you can also answer most of the questions by yourself. And the second one, like the question, who makes the decision in the Naga family? Obviously it's the father, though the mother also gives suggestions and advices, but mostly it's the father, okay? So likewise, I want you to try answering these questions by referring to the explanations that I've explained in all these 3 classes, and obviously it will be very easy for you to answer. Now the project work that I'm going to give you is I want you to go and visit some elders in your villages, or your parents or your own grandparents, and they will help you by sharing some folk tales which they have experienced by themselves. So once you learn from them, I want you to share it with your friends, and in that way you can connect with one another and you can expand your knowledge about your own culture, okay? So that's all with this lesson. I hope and believe that you have understood. So till then, take care and keep studying.